The first habit that silently destroys your respect is the habit of complaining. And it is such a subtle habit that many people don't even realize how often they do it. Complaining has become so normal that it almost feels like a part of our personality. We complain about the weather, the traffic, the government, our jobs, our friends, our families, our phones, our situations, even our own lives. But here is the truth. The more we complain, the more we drain our energy, and the more we reduce the respect people have for us. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how people react when someone constantly complains? Their faces tighten, their enthusiasm drops, and very quietly they begin to distance themselves. Not because they hate that person, but because they feel exhausted around them. Nobody feels uplifted around a complainer. They feel drained. And people naturally respect those who lift their energy, not those who reduce it. In life, everyone is fighting their own battles. Everyone has problems. Everyone is carrying some kind of burden. But the people who earn true respect are those who walk through the same challenges without making it the world's responsibility to feel sorry for them. They hold themselves with a certain grace. They face difficulties with dignity. They express their struggles only when necessary, and even then, they still maintain gratitude. Complaining takes away this dignity. Let me share something with you. Once I met someone who had a very difficult life, financial crisis, family troubles, health issues. Yet when you sit with him, he speaks with so much positivity that you forget your own problems. One day I asked him, "How do you stay so positive when everything around you seems so difficult?" He smiled and said, "Because complaining won't make my problems smaller, it will only make me smaller." That one sentence carries a lifetime of wisdom. Complaining reduces our respect because it makes us look helpless. It sends a message that we are not in control of our emotions, our actions, or our life. It signals that we are victims of circumstance rather than leaders of our own choices. People do not respect helplessness, they respect responsibility. And complaining is the opposite of responsibility. When someone constantly complains, others start to feel that this person is not capable of handling challenges. And if you cannot handle your own challenges, how will people trust you to handle anything bigger? Employers don't respect it. Friendships struggle because of it, relationships get strained, and even self-respect reduces with every complaint. Over time, complaining creates a mindset that looks for what's wrong in every situation. And when the mind is trained to look for what's wrong, it will keep finding it. Even if there are 100 blessings around us, we will see the one thing that isn't perfect. And the tragedy is that when we become blind to our blessings, we become bitter. And when we become bitter, people slowly start stepping away. People will listen to your problems for a while, but they will admire your strength forever. Respect comes from showing resilience, not from showcasing difficulties. This doesn't mean you should never express your pain. There's a difference between sharing your challenges and constantly complaining about them. Sharing is healthy. Complaining is repetitive, negative, and usually without the intention to find solutions. Complainers don't want advice. They want attention, and attention fades quickly. Respect stays only with those who seek solutions. The moment you shift from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, What can I learn from this? What can I do about this? You begin to transform. People notice, they admire the shift. They begin to trust you more because now you are not someone who drowns in problems. You are someone who grows through them. Respect grows when your attitude grows. The truth is, the world does not respect negativity. People respect courage. They respect those who speak with optimism even when the situation is tough. They respect those who acknowledge problems but also focus on possibilities. They respect those who may fall but never lose their strength of spirit. So the next time you feel the urge to complain, pause. Ask yourself, am I making this situation better or worse? More importantly, how do I want people to see me? As a complainer or as a problem solver? The person who removes the habit of complaining becomes lighter, happier, and far more respected. Not because life becomes perfect, but because their attitude does. And in the end, respect is not earned through the life you have. It is earned through the attitude you choose. The second habit that silently takes away your respect is the habit of gossiping. Gossip may look harmless, it may feel entertaining, and sometimes it even brings people closer for a moment. But in the long run, it destroys trust, damages your character, and makes people question your integrity. And respect cannot survive in an environment where integrity is missing. Gossip is like eating junk food for the mind. It tastes good, it satisfies a small craving, but afterwards it leaves you feeling empty. The problem with gossip is not just that it harms others. The problem is that it harms the person who is speaking. People might smile when listening to your gossip. They might laugh. They might encourage you. But deep down they think, if this person talks about others to me, they will also talk about me to others. That single thought silently breaks the respect they have for you. Imagine you are sitting in a group. Everyone is having tea or coffee, having a light conversation, and suddenly someone starts talking about a person who is not present, criticizing their actions, making fun of their mistakes, or revealing their private issues. The group listens, maybe laughs along, but there is a hidden question inside everyone's mind. What image do I have in front of this person? What will they say about me when I'm not around? Without saying a word, your respect starts slipping away. Gossip reveals more about the gossiper than the subject of the gossip. It tells people that you cannot be trusted with information. It tells them that you focus on people's mistakes instead of their strengths. It tells them that you measure your importance by putting others down. And this makes others feel unsafe around you. People respect those who make them feel safe, not threatened. There is a beautiful saying, small minds talk about people, average minds talk about events, great minds talk about ideas. When your conversation is filled with ideas, people feel inspired. When your conversation is filled with gossip, people feel contaminated, and no one respects contamination. Gossip also creates a negative energy around you. Even if you gossip lightly, the intention behind it carries a certain bitterness. You may not realize it, but every time you indulge in gossip, you are feeding your mind with negativity. Over time, your thinking becomes judgmental. Instead of seeing goodness, you see flaws. Instead of appreciating people, you compare and criticize. And when negativity becomes a pattern, it becomes your personality. And a negative personality never earns deep respect. There is another aspect to this. Gossip always leads to misunderstanding. Stories get twisted, facts get exaggerated, and intentions get misinterpreted. A small comment becomes a big issue. A harmless action becomes a scandal. A simple situation becomes a dramatic story. And when the truth comes out, the person who spread the gossip is the one who loses face. People forget the content of the gossip, but they remember the character of the gossiper. Let me share something meaningful. A wise teacher once said to his student, "Before you speak about someone, let your words pass through 3 gates." The student asked, "What gates?" The teacher replied, "The first gate is it true? The second gate is it necessary? The third gate is it kind? If what you say does not pass all 3 gates, do not say it." If we applied these 3 gates to our conversations, gossip would disappear from our lives automatically. And we must also remember that people who gossip with you will also gossip about you. The companionship built through gossip is not real friendship. It is temporary bonding based on negativity. The moment something changes, the same people will turn that gossip towards you. There is no loyalty in gossip. There is no honesty in gossip. And there is certainly no respect in gossip. When you stop gossiping, something incredible happens. People begin to trust you. They feel secure in your presence. They feel confident that their secrets, their weaknesses, and their personal stories are safe with you. That sense of safety creates deep respect. People admire those who protect others, not those who expose others. Removing gossip from your life also improves your inner peace. Your mind becomes lighter. Your heart becomes cleaner. You start seeing people with compassion, not competition. You begin to appreciate rather than criticize. And slowly, you become someone who uplifts others instead of pulling them down. That transformation automatically raises your self-respect as well. Try observing those who are respected in society. Teachers, spiritual leaders, mentors, mature elders, successful professionals. You will hardly find them gossiping. They speak with wisdom, with purpose, and with kindness. They don't waste time discussing other people's imperfections. They use their words to encourage, to guide, to heal, to motivate. And that is why people listen to them. That is why people respect them. So, the next time you feel tempted to gossip, pause. Ask yourself, what do I gain from this? Will this make me better? Will this make others trust me? Will the person I am talking about feel hurt if they heard this? If the answer is no, then it's not worth saying. Respect is never earned through gossip. It is earned by showing that your words build, not break, heal, not hurt, support, not sabotage. And once people realize that their name, their dignity, and their private life are safe with you, they will respect you in ways you cannot imagine. The third habit that silently damages your respect is the habit of making excuses. Excuses may appear like a shield to protect us from criticism, failure, or responsibility, but in reality, they weaken our character and drain the trust others place in us. People don't respect those who run away from responsibility. They respect those who stand up and own their actions, even when things go wrong. Excuses are like small termites. You don't notice their presence immediately, but slowly, quietly, they eat away the foundation of your growth. Each time we say, "I couldn't do it because," or "it's not my fault," or I didn't have time. We might escape discomfort in the moment, but we lose something far more valuable, our credibility. And when credibility goes down, respect goes down with it. Most people don't make excuses because they are incapable. They make excuses because they fear accountability. They fear what others will think if they accept responsibility. But ironically, people think even less of us when they see us avoiding responsibility. When someone is always ready with a story, a justification, or an explanation for why they didn't show up, didn't do the work, or didn't keep a promise, others quietly conclude that this is not a dependable person. Dependability is one of the strongest pillars of respect, and excuses weaken that pillar. Think about someone you deeply respect. Notice how they behave. They may not be perfect, they may make mistakes, but they do not hide behind excuses. They say, I made a mistake, or I will fix it, or let me improve. Responsibility is attractive. Ownership is admirable. People trust those who are honest about their shortcomings, because honesty creates strength, not weakness. Making excuses also traps us in a cycle of stagnation. When we blame circumstances, people, time, resources, or fate, we close the door to improvement. Growth begins the moment we acknowledge that something needs to change. But excuses prevent that moment from ever happening. Instead of learning, we defend. Instead of improving, we justify. And instead of growing, we remain stuck. I once heard a powerful line: you can make progress or you can make excuses, but you cannot make both. Excuses offer temporary comfort, but long-term regret. Responsibility may feel uncomfortable at first, but it leads to long-term respect. There is also a deeper emotional truth. Excuses make you look smaller in your own eyes. Every time you justify your inaction, a small voice inside you knows the truth. That inner voice feels disappointed, and slowly, self-respect declines. And when self-respect goes down, external respect follows. Let's imagine a simple situation. Suppose a person is often late to meetings or commitments. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, I should have planned better, they say, the traffic was bad, or my alarm didn't ring, or something came up. Maybe once or twice people will understand. But if excuses become a pattern, others stop taking this person seriously. They may smile politely, but deep down they begin to think, this person is not reliable. This person cannot be counted on. Respect quietly slips away. People respect effort, even imperfect effort, but they lose respect for someone who repeatedly avoids responsibility. Excuses also shift blame. And when blame becomes a habit, relationships suffer. A person who cannot say, I was wrong, or I could have done better, creates stress for the people around them. Their family feels it. Their colleagues feel it. Their friends feel it. Others start to walk on eggshells, afraid that any issue will be turned around and blamed on something or someone else. Respect cannot grow in such an environment. Another truth is that excuses are often rooted in fear: fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of looking weak. But taking responsibility actually makes you stronger in the eyes of others. People feel inspired when they see someone say, I didn't get it right this time, but I will work on it. That attitude builds admiration because it reflects humility and strength at the same time. Removing excuses does not mean being harsh on yourself. It simply means being honest. It means acknowledging what happened with clarity instead of covering it with justifications. When you do this, you grow, you become sharper, you become more dependable. And people start respecting you, not just for what you achieve, but for who you are. There is something beautiful that happens when you stop making excuses. You start feeling more powerful, because now you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the author of your decisions. People can see the shift. They feel it in the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you respond to situations. You become a person of integrity, someone who stands firm even when things go wrong. And when you become that person, respect naturally follows. So the next time you catch yourself about to give an excuse, pause for a moment. Reflect. Ask yourself, what if I simply accept this? What if I take responsibility instead of explaining it away? That one moment of honesty might feel uncomfortable, but it will earn you far more respect than any excuse ever could. People respect not the one who never makes mistakes, but the one who accepts mistakes gracefully and grows beyond them. The fourth habit that silently takes away your respect is the habit of reacting in anger. Anger is a natural emotion. Every human being feels it. But reacting in anger is a choice. And the moment we choose to express that anger without control, without understanding, or without patience, we damage our relationships, our reputation, and the dignity people hold for us. Respect is built on calmness, clarity, and maturity. Anger clouds all three. When someone reacts in anger, people may fear them for a moment, but they do not respect them. Fear and respect are not the same. Fear breaks relationships. Respect strengthens them. Fear fades with time. Respect grows with time. Fear creates distance. Respect creates connection. And anger pushes us towards fear, not respect. Think about someone you know who loses their temper easily. Even if they are talented, knowledgeable, or strong, you probably hesitate to approach them. You choose your words carefully around them. You avoid sensitive topics, and sometimes you avoid them completely. That is not respect. That is emotional caution. And emotional caution slowly distances people. Anger can make even the wisest person look foolish in a single moment. A person may have built a great reputation over years, but one uncontrolled outburst can make others rethink everything they know about them. It only takes a moment of anger to undo years of respect. There is a difference between responding and reacting. Reacting is instant and emotional. Responding is thoughtful and controlled. The people we respect the most are those who respond, not those who react. They think before they speak. They understand before they judge. They listen before they decide. Their calmness becomes a source of strength, not only for themselves, but for everyone around them. There is a story about a man who went to a spiritual teacher and said, "I get angry very easily. What should I do?" The teacher smiled and replied, "Show me this anger of yours." The man said, "How can I show it to you? It comes suddenly." The teacher said, "If it comes suddenly and leaves suddenly, it is not part of you. It is something you allow." This simple idea reveals a deep truth. Anger does not control us. We choose whether or not to give it permission. Anger usually comes from three sources: unmet expectations, unhealed emotions, or a lack of patience. And all three are internal issues, not external. When someone says, "You made me angry," it is easy to believe that the world controls our emotions. but truly our reaction is our own decision. Someone may trigger us, but the fire starts inside us, and it is our responsibility to decide whether we want to let that fire burn everything or let it cool. A person who stays calm during provocation is respected because calmness shows strength. Anyone can shout, anyone can argue, anyone can lose control, but only a strong person can stay composed when the situation becomes difficult. That composure earns admiration because it is rare, it is powerful, it reflects maturity. There is also a hidden cost to reacting in anger. It damages trust. When people see that your mood can change suddenly, they start feeling unsafe around you. They cannot predict how you will respond. They start adjusting themselves around your temper. And when people must shrink themselves to maintain peace around you, they slowly lose respect for you. Anger also harms us internally. After every outburst, there is a feeling of regret. The words spoken in anger, the actions taken in anger, the harsh tone, the impatience, all these things leave a scar on our own heart. We replay the moment again and again. We wish we had stayed calmer. We wish we had spoken kindly. And this self-regret lowers our self-respect. When self-respect goes down, external respect naturally decreases too. However, not reacting in anger does not mean suppressing your feelings. Suppression is unhealthy. It means acknowledging your feelings but choosing a wiser expression. Instead of shouting, speak. Instead of arguing, explain. Instead of reacting instantly, take a pause. That pause, just a few seconds, can save relationships, protect your dignity, and maintain your respect. Imagine a conflict between two people. One reacts in anger, shouting and accusing. The other listens, stays composed, and replies with clarity. Whose words do you take more seriously? Whose presence feels more grounded? Whose character feels more respectable? Always the calm one. People gravitate toward those who bring peace, not chaos. There is something profoundly beautiful about a person who maintains grace, even when the situation becomes stressful. It shows deep self-control, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. These are qualities that automatically attract respect. Sometimes, anger comes from the belief that losing control gives us power, but real power is staying calm when you have every reason to be angry. It shows that your emotions are not your master. You are their master. And when people see that you can control yourself, they feel inspired, they trust you more, they admire the discipline you carry within. That admiration slowly transforms into respect. So the next time something frustrates you or someone provokes you, give yourself a moment. Breathe, think. Ask yourself, is this reaction worth my respect? Is this anger worth my peace? Will my future self appreciate what I'm about to say? That single moment of awareness can change everything, because respect is not earned through loudness. It is earned through silence that understands, calmness that controls, and patience that speaks with wisdom. And when you let go of the habit of reacting in anger, you don't just protect your relationships, you elevate your character. You become someone others look up to, someone they trust, someone they admire, and that is the kind of respect that lasts. The fifth habit that quietly reduces your respect is the habit of being inconsistent. Consistency may sound like a simple word, but it carries the weight of trust, discipline, and character. People respect those who show up, not those who show up only when it is convenient. Inconsistency creates confusion in the minds of others. It makes people unsure of who you really are and what they can expect from you. And respect cannot grow in uncertainty. When a person is inconsistent, they may be good, talented, or even well-intentioned, but others hesitate to rely on them. It's not because they doubt their abilities, but because they doubt their stability. A person who keeps changing their decisions, mood, efforts, commitments, or priorities becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability causes people to step back. Humans naturally respect people who bring clarity, steadiness, and reliability to their relationships and responsibilities. Think about someone who starts something with great excitement but drops it halfway. It could be a project, a job, a friendship, a promise, or a self-improvement routine. At first, people admire their enthusiasm, but over time, they begin to say, "Let's wait and see." They never complete what they start. Once that thought enters someone's mind, respect slowly declines. It's not because you failed, it's because you didn't stay steady. Consistency doesn't mean perfection, it means commitment. It means showing up even on the days when motivation is low. It means giving your best even when life feels heavy. It means keeping your word even when excuses feel easier. That kind of discipline earns deep respect because it shows strength of character. Imagine a person who says, "I'll be there," but you're never sure if they'll actually show up. Compare that with another person who says the same words, and you know in your heart that they will definitely be there. The difference is not in the words, they are the same. The difference is in the consistency behind those words. The first person leaves you uncertain. The second earns your respect without even trying. Consistency is also a reflection of your internal alignment, how well your actions match your values. When there is a gap between what you say and what you do, people notice. When there is a gap between your promises and your delivery, people lose trust. And when trust weakens, respect follows. One of the biggest reasons people remain inconsistent is that they let their emotions dictate their actions. If they feel excited, they commit. If they feel tired, they give up. If they feel motivated, they try their best. If they feel lazy, they postpone everything. But respect is not earned through emotional impulses. It is earned through disciplined actions. Someone who does the right thing only when they feel like it cannot be relied upon. But someone who does the right thing because it needs to be done earns admiration. There's a beautiful example of this in relationships. At the beginning, everyone is consistent in effort, in attention, in care. But slowly, as comfort grows, inconsistency begins. Messages become rare, calls get delayed, affection decreases, and efforts fade away. And when effort fades, respect fades. People respect those who don't let their attention decrease just because time has passed. Consistency keeps relationships alive. In professional life too, the same rule applies. A person may be incredibly talented, but if their efforts fluctuate, if their discipline comes and goes, if their performance rises and falls without reason, they cannot earn long-term respect. Talent may impress people, but consistency earns their confidence. People want to work with those who are steady, not those who are unpredictable. Inconsistency also harms our self-esteem. Every time we fail to keep our word, even to ourselves, we lose trust in our own abilities. when we decide to wake up early but keep hitting snooze, when we promise ourselves we'll change but never take the steps, when we set goals but abandon them after a week, our inner self watches. And slowly our self-respect begins to break. But something beautiful happens when we start becoming consistent. Suddenly, our words begin to hold weight because people know we don't speak casually. Our reputation becomes stronger because we are known for reliability. Our relationships improve because people feel safe with us. Our inner confidence grows because we trust ourselves again. And most importantly, respect, both internal and external, begins to rise naturally. Consistency is not about doing big things every day. It is about doing small things with sincerity. A calm, repeated effort has more power than occasional greatness. A steady drop of water can carve stone, not because of strength, but because of consistency. And a steady person can transform their life, not because they are extraordinary, but because they refuse to give up. So the next time you start something, remind yourself that the world will not judge your speed, only your steadiness. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to show up. You don't need to impress people with bursts of brilliance. You need to earn their respect through quiet reliability. You don't need to be praised every day. You just need to be trusted. And the moment you remove the habit of inconsistency and replace it with disciplined, steady effort, your personality becomes magnetic. People begin to respect you deeply, not just for what you do, but for who you are becoming. The sixth habit that quietly reduces your respect is the habit of speaking too much and doing too little. We live in a world where people talk endlessly about their plans, their dreams, their goals, their intentions. But respect is not earned through speech. It is earned through action. Anyone can talk about what they want to do. Very few actually do it. And the gap between words and actions is where respect is either built or broken. When a person constantly speaks about what they are going to achieve, I will start this, I will change that, I will improve, I will succeed. People listen the first time, maybe even the second, but after a while they begin to wait, silently observing whether those words transform into action. If they do not, then the words lose their power, and the respect behind those words begins to fade. There is an old saying, loud voices rarely carry deep meaning. A person who talks too much often ends up revealing their lack of discipline, because talk is easy, talk is comfortable, talk gives an illusion of progress without moving even one step forward, and people sense this. They start to see that your words are becoming a form of performance rather than a reflection of commitment. On the other hand, people who speak less and work more carry a different energy. You can feel their sincerity even without many words. They focus on doing, not announcing. They believe in showing results rather than promising them. And when their work speaks for them, people naturally respect them, not because they demanded it, but because their actions earned it. Think about someone you admire deeply. Chances are, they are not the loudest person in the room. They are steady, thoughtful, and grounded. Their actions reflect their character. Their achievements speak louder than anything they could ever say. People respect them because they don't need to be noticed. Their work already does that. The problem with excessive talking is that it creates expectations. When you say something, people expect you to follow through. If you don't deliver, you disappoint them. And repeated disappointment leads to a loss of respect. People think, this person says a lot but does very little. And once that label sticks, it is very difficult to remove. Speaking less is not about remaining silent, it is about speaking with purpose. Words should carry weight, not noise. The more you talk about what you plan to do, the more energy you drain from doing it. Talking gives your mind a sense of satisfaction, as if the work is already done. That illusion steals your motivation to actually do the work. There was once a wise monk who said to his students, "Do not announce your good intentions. Let your actions reveal them." The students asked, "Why?" The monk smiled and said, "Because words create expectations, but actions create transformation." That simple message reveals everything we need to understand about respect. People do not respect what you say, they respect what you repeatedly do. A person who quietly works towards their goals, who remains focused even when no one is watching, who delivers more than they promise, such a person becomes admirable. Their silence becomes powerful, their consistency becomes inspiring, and their actions become unforgettable. When you speak less, your words become rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. People listen more carefully, they take you more seriously. Your voice carries weight, but when you speak too much, your words become like background noise. People hear you, but they don't feel you. They listen, but they don't believe. Because trust is built through action, not through announcements. There is another important aspect to this. Speaking too much also exposes your weaknesses. When someone talks excessively, they often reveal insecurities, fears, opinions, and emotions that are better managed privately. Too much talking can make you look impulsive, unstable, or unfocused. Silence, on the other hand, reflects maturity. It shows that you are thoughtful, patient, and observant. People respect those who think before they speak, not those who speak before they think. In a world filled with noise, quiet consistency becomes a kind of strength. When you walk with humility, when you keep your promises silently, when you allow your actions to shine, people notice you more deeply. They may not clap loudly, but they carry a deep respect for you in their hearts. Speaking less and doing more also helps you grow internally. When you focus on actions, your confidence becomes real. You no longer depend on words to prove yourself. Your work becomes your identity. Your progress becomes your voice. And your achievements become your introduction. There is something incredibly peaceful about a person who doesn't boast. They don't need validation from others. They don't need applause. They don't need to convince anyone. They know who they are, and their actions reflect that understanding. Such a person becomes magnetic because authenticity always attracts respect. So the next time you feel the urge to speak excessively about your plans, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I want to impress people with words or with results? If you want respect, the answer is always results. Talk less about what you will do more of what you plan. Let your actions be so strong that people talk about you even when you don't talk about yourself. Because in the end, respect is not earned by the volume of your speech, but by the depth of your effort. When your actions become louder than your words, your character becomes unforgettable